TWM podcast.
MLW. No more fusion for the time being. So we've got Anthology. So we can't call it Piss Fusion anymore. So what are we calling it now, Mike? Pissology?
You can't throw these things straight off at me.
Anthology.
Anthology. Yeah.
Anthology, there we go. So basically, Anthology is them looking back at memorable matches from some of MLW's most famous wrestlers. They've started off with Los Angeles Park on this one.
It's nice they gave a bit of sort of backstory to him as well, because newer viewers may not sort of know where they talked about him being like the original L.A Park. Sort of just gave a bit of context to who he is. Yeah, and they gave a lot of background. Like, this was two OG matches, starting off with both matches from 2002. This one saw L.A Park go over Shocker. Sorry, I just put a sweet in my mouth, and I apologise for that. I remember Shocker off of TNA. He used to have really good matches. I hope nobody remembers him from now. It's not so good.
Is he in CMLL now, or
yes,
just doing Mexican Independent? I did look him up. I was generally, it was one of those things. I went, oh, Shocker, and then it went, Shocker, is he still wrestling? And I found out that he is. So yeah, he's in CMLL, and Mike is our lucha expert, and he says he is no good. This also just reminds me a lot of old school Ring of Honor. So obviously it's the Hammerstein Ballroom. Yeah,
like massively.
The 3-4. Did 3-4 aspect ratio for the recording?
The 4x3.
4x3,
yeah. We think that was the sizing back in like 2002. Actually, I think you're wrong. This was the Manhattan Center, not the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Manhattan Center, which is
first match.
I'm trying to think. Hammerstein Ballroom is the one. Is that the one
where it's when One Night Stand?
Yeah,
where it's One Night Stand with the entrance sort of thing. You come in from. As it looks at the crowd, you've got all the little like booths almost.
Isn't Manhattan Center above
Manhattan
or below?
Center was where they did the first run of Raws.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Aren't they in the same? Are they same building and one underneath?
I don't believe
the
they're in the same building.
They're close to each other. I think. The commentator is Joey Styles, and that's wrote down. Remember when Joey Styles was everyone's favourite commentator and not a right-wing nut job? We got fast lucha action to start. Shocker boots Park to the outside, and we get a fake-out dive. Park catches Shocker coming in and works him over. Then Park yeets Shocker with a shoulder block. Shocker hits a big dive to the outside. Park hits his tornado, and it's fun watching like young. This is obviously L.A. Park. We're not getting into the whole thing with that because we will be here for literal days. But it's like interesting seeing almost child La Parker compared to large dad La Parker that we have now.
It looks like if current L.A. Park took off his Parker.
Yes. If L.A. Park removed his literal La Parker. Then Shocker, Park grabs a chair and Shocker drop kicks it into his face. And then I thought the Jericho hitting Chris Benoit with a chair on a dive at the Royal Rumble was hard. L.A. Park swings a chair into Shocker's head as he's doing a dive, hitting him right in the face.
That shot was so good it would get him in the Baseball Hall of Fame. That's all I'm going to say.
They'd be testing him because that was Mark Maguire-esque for obviously the time. Leg sweep for a near fall. Then we get a double stomp, but Shocker gets the boots up. Shocker gets a landslide and a trio of sentons for a near fall. They exchange some more near falls. We get a big superplex from Shocker. Shocker gets a Bronco Buster, but Park gets the boot up on the second attempt, and then he hits his corkscrew moonsault for the win. It was just a really fun. It was very maybe it's because Joey Styles was commentating. It just seemed like a very ECW style match.
This was the sort of lucha match you would want to have on a show to show people what lucha wrestling is really what it is at its essence.
Yeah,
and how some people can watch it and just go, yeah, I can get into this.
Next week is going to be Mansa, showing some of his matches. Maybe they've got some of his WCW stuff from the 1980s. They can whack on some of this stuff from Global. We then see L.A. Park cutting a promo, and then Sabu shanks him. Some old lad, turns up and starts giving Sabu a cuddle, Yeti style, as he's shanking.
I couldn't work out who it was.
I didn't figure out who it was as well. Just some old bloke started giving him a cuddle. We then get Sabu over L.A. Park from 2002. And this is the L.A. Park we know. None of this wrestling lark. Just a fight.
This is when he went proper Hollywood and went for Los Angeles Park.
Immediate chair yeeting. We get a chair standoff, and then some more chair yeeting. Sabu goes for the leg, and we get a Park armbar. They just do some graps, and Sabu locks in a camel clutch. Then Park does the same. Sabu it's a kick and then a slingshot leg drop for a near fall. These guys go back and forth. Sabu goes for a DDT on the outside. This was a great sequence. I like this one. So Park gets thrown onto the apron. Park does counter sunset. It's a drop kick. Park gets thrown onto the apron. Sabu goes for a tornado DDT through a table on the outside. He gets countered onto the apron. L.A. Park clotheslines him off the apron back into the ring, which I love. That spot needs done more often. It's such a cool looking move to do it. A helo gets missed by L.A. Park, and then Sabu hits a DDT. Love it. Great sequence for an near fall. Park yeets Sabu into the crowd, and we get some walk and brawl. Park dives off the top rope onto Sabu in the crowd. Park then chairs Sabu, and then charging Park gets drop kick. This was cool. I liked this move. So Park charging, and Sabu drop kicks him in the leg, and he proceeds, because he's drop kicking the leg, to proceed to take a front dive over the top rope through a table. Well, I say through a table. He bounced off the table, and the table collapsed 3 seconds later.
Do you know why that is?
Why?
Because I am the table.
Wow. What a turn for the books. Sabu then starts shanking L.A. Park with some scissors. He's a double jump plancher into the crowd, and then a child walks by. Park is bleeding everywhere. Sabu then scissors Park, lol. But seriously, this is very, very bloody, like as we expect from L.A. Park. Sabu fucks up, which is something. Memories.
Shock horror.
Park hits a kick for a near fall, and then Park puts Sabu in the Tree of Woe and does the whole Tajiri drop kick spot for a near fall. Park then just starts kicking the shit out of Sabu. Headbutts and chops. Park misses a shoulder charge, and then Sabu hits a flip dive. We then get a classic Sabu springboard leg drop to the outside through a table. Park gets his feet up on a dive and hits a near fall. Sabu stops Park diving. It's a Rana for a near fall. We then get the Arabian facebuster and then a triple jump moonsault for the win. Again, this was like the opposite end of watching an ECW show. The other one was like, oh, really good, like lucha libre style wrestling, and this one was like, yes, lots of. This was your 2002 at his peak, very good Sabu match.
Yeah, the one thing that sort of like stuck with me from the end of this match is, I don't know if you noticed it, when like Sabu lands and in some way La Parka hurts his knee, because as Sabu's pinned, so Sabu is pinned in the far leg, which was La Parka's left leg, but La Parka's obviously hurt his right knee, so he's sort of like put his arm down to hold his leg, but it looks like he's pinning himself because he's pulling his leg up.
Only I will pin.
You would like hook the leg on a pin.
Only L.A. Park.
I will pin myself.
Only L.A. Park will pin L.A. Park.
It's like, Sabu, you cannot pin me on your own. I will help you.
Bill Alfonso offers Park some water. He's hoping to piss off, and the two shake hands, mutual respect. But however, Bill Alfonso cuts a promo. He wants another match with La Parka. La Parka appears and then just yeets several bins at him. So chat shit, get binned is what we learn.
Yep.
We then hear from some MLW stars in the present day. Von Erich tells us about the powers of bamboo. As interesting as ever. Injustice want revenge on Contra. Tom Lawler has been told that he didn't get a government grant, so he had to move the filthy dojo into his garage.
Right, Tom Lawler in this was brilliant because he's so bullshitting with the truth. Tom was supposed to fight for the PFL. And because they cancelled, they run year-long seasons, so he was due to fight a couple of times this year, potentially win $1 million. A bunch of the fighters, the PFL, have actually paid like a stand-in fee to every month because of coronavirus. So Tom is getting paid as it stands. Later on, he then mentions about the referee smelling of alcohol and cigarettes, which is the line he stole from Dominic Cruz, who fought not the Saturday just gone, the Saturday before, and he said that about the referee that was involved in his match.
Is that was that in what organisation was that in? Was that PFL?
It was the UFC.
Oh, UFC. Oh yeah, I think I remember reading about that on Fightful. Which is, Tom Lawler was great. Holiday has got a shitty mustache. I can talk. I sent a photo to the guys in the WhatsApp group saying I've started looking like
homeless.
No,
just homeless.
I said homeless or looking like Eric Young before he left TNA. With the scraggly beard and hair with receding line. Mance Warner's taking precautions, but he still wants his triple cage. I love that he's being ambitious here.
Didn't he say he was going to build this triple cage himself?
Yes. He's like how Sandman used to do all the. No, when they had scaffold matches in ECW. I don't know if you knew this. Sandman would build all the scaffolding.
Yeah, I did know that.
So maybe he's doing that. Maybe he's doing all that stuff. My favourite.
He's like, I know a guy.
Yeah, my favourite story of Sandman building scaffolding. Of course, Sandman's a bit of a dick nowadays for his opinion on female wrestling. More on someone having a shitty opinion on female wrestling later on. But my favourite Sandman story about the scaffolding is that just before Tommy Dreamer went out to have his scaffold match with Brian Lee, Sandman told him that he had sex with his wife on that scaffold the night before.
Brilliant.
Because of course he did. L.A. Park wants some food, but find apparently Contra in his fridge. He just goes, "Sons, come here! Look, Contra is in my fridge."
Yeah, it was like okay.
It was brilliant.
It was nice. Maybe their fridge is like the fridge in Ghostbusters, and there's a portal through to MLW headquarters, and that's where Contra are.
Well, we can see in that portal, we can see that. Why is Aria Blake with Colonel Robert Parker showing him how to use his phone?
Who knows? Who? Maybe he's got more money than the Dynasty do.
I threw up a little bit in my mouth when Aria Blake called Colonel Robert Parker daddy. Generally made me feel a little bit ill.
Yeah.
Savio Vega calls Holiday an evil person, and then L.A. Park gets some ice cream and tells Contra to go fuck their mothers. What a way to close this week's MLW.